Hi, I'm Tony. I'm a punk. This is Too Tough to Die. Coming back for a podcast. This is number 3 that I've done. I don't know what order you're watching or listening to them in. I guess listening, because I'm audio. Today, we're going to talk about a few things. Most notably, I think I want to discuss food you people put in your mouths. I certainly wouldn't put it in my mouth. You do. You don't want to know why you shouldn't. You don't want to know what's in it. Again, part of the problem. Don't be part of the problem. Anyway, on my way here today, after navigating the slalom of Olette Avenue and hitting the construction on every side street imaginable, and then getting stuck by a garbage truck, and then finding out that some jackass in an orange shirt decided to play Frogger on Olette Avenue in front of speeding traffic and buses, and he was lucky to get across, so I guess he won. And I guess on a Frogger note, I've got my Atari breakout socks on today, and my Bad Wolf hat that everybody wants to own for themselves. I also have my cool jacket and shoes that everybody seems to want. Everybody wants what I want. Except when I tell you about the food you're eating, you don't want to hear it. Well, let me tell you something. Food is obviously needed for people to live. And what has happened over the last few decades is rather startling. And, you know, you people can find this out for yourselves. But most of you are too lazy to do it, so listen to me. The ones of you that are too lazy and are going to listen to me, don't dismiss it without calling yourself stupid. Because right now, almost every damn thing in your house... you know what? Let me backtrack just slightly here. When you people go to the store, the grocery store, to buy your groceries, you're going to see over 38,000 products in that grocery store. And it sounds like you have a lot of choice, a lot of things to go for, a lot of competition, a lot of products. You're going to check some of your ingredient lists, etc., etc. Guess what? Wrong. 38,000 items in your grocery store doesn't mean there's a lot of competition. 10 companies in this world, they're called multinational companies. They're mostly scumbags for a variety of reasons. Again, listen to what I'm saying. Take it with more than a grain of salt. Make sure it's not iodized salt. Do a little bit of work for yourselves, but use this as a starting point. You've got a thing called the internet. It's on that device that's probably 6 inches from your body or on your body, or you're looking at it right now. In any case, 10 companies own practically everything in your house. And you give these people all your business, so you have no choice. You don't know what kind of corporate people they are. Are they good citizens for the planet? Some of you care about things like that. Some of you know what goes on and not. Some of you still don't care. Again, part of the problem if you don't care. You'd think by now you'd be caring a little bit. So, here are some of the offending companies. Kraft. You know what? Let's just list them first. Kraft, Coca-Cola, Nestle, the assholes at Procter Gamble, Pepsi, General Mills, Kellogg's, Johnson & Johnson, Unilever, and Mars. Those 10 companies produce almost everything you people stupidly put in your mouths. No offense, Joe. I know you're getting better. Anyway, we have a lot of companies, and they have bought up smaller companies. I won't get into the organic portion yet, but they buy up smaller companies. They go to what we call third world countries, and they practically enslave the populations. They rip the good land from them. They take all the good, clean water. And I had written down a few quotes and headlines and notes and things that I wanted to mention, and I'll try to find them quickly, but Without my reading glasses, might be a little difficult today. But in the world, at any given time, people are estimating that we have 900 million people that go to bed hungry every night. And out of this big group, somewhere between 60 and 80% of them are small-scale farmers that are the ones producing the food that these big multinational corporations get from them cheaply, practically put them out of business, keep them as in serfdom, pay them low wages. And for any of the women listening out there, most of them treat the women producers much more shabbily than the male counterparts. Geez, aren't you outraged at that? Don't call it racist. Don't call it gender phobic. You don't want to do something about it? I don't care. So, and then what they do is they buy up other companies. They buy up the supply chains. They have very influential lobbyists and contacts with governments. Not just with governments, though, but also with the traders in the supply chain, and they exert a tremendous amount of influence. Case in point, you want to tell somebody that you got a bug or a cockroach in your Coca-Cola bottle, and you write to the head office and you take it to your damn social media. Coca-Cola doesn't give a flying fuck about that. They don't care. You're not going to do anything to them. Coca-Cola makes billions and billions and billions a year. They really don't care what's going on. They've got the government in their pocket. Other companies like, well, we won't even go into the food supply yet because we're talking about groceries, but companies like Monsanto have an inroad with the USDA, the Supreme Court of the United States, etc., etc. So let's start with Kraft. They basically own Cadbury. I think we all know that. And they own Toblerone and companies like that. And all that crap you're feeding your kids. Tang, Kool-Aid, Capri Sun, Mr. Freezy, Crystal Light. It's all shit. It's using genetically modified sugars. All kinds of crap in there. That's Kraft. You're giving them money. So if you don't like something on Kraft and you're going to boycott a Kraft product, make sure you research what the hell Kraft makes and sells or owns and make it a company-wide boycott. Put a little bit of heat on them that way. If you're going to organize, make sure you organize properly, get some numbers out there, and let them know you're going to hit the bottom line. You're going to tell them, I'm not eating your Cadbury shit at all. I hate it. I'm going to switch to Toblerone. They're laughing at you because they know you're damn stupid because that's their product as well. So know what you're getting, know what the companies are making. Kraft also owns Halls, Clorettes, Trident, Certs, Chiclets, I believe, and all that shit. And I call it shit for a variety of reasons, but it starts out with, most of their products start out with bad sugars, shit that's been genetically modified, but these breath mint, gum type of product, they have aspartame in them a lot, or an artificial sweetener. And if you need to do some research on artificial sweeteners, you really should. I think on an upcoming podcast, I'll give you a little excerpt from my book that talks about the artificial sweeteners and aspartame and how the hell it got into our food supply. It's a killer, and you really need to get out of that. I've got some cinnamon gum. It's called Spry, and it's used with natural sugars. Not genetically modified, not harmful. What the hell else are you people buying from Kraft? Well, some of you try to be cool when you're having your little parties and you bring out the Clamato. That's Kraft. Your Crush Pop, your Snapples, your Dr. Pepper and Schweppes, A&W root beer. If they still have that around, I don't know. I don't care. Kraft. What else are you serving to those freeloaders at your party? Triscuits, Ritz, crap like that. It's made by a company that is a very, very bad corporate person. They're not a good Earth citizen. They're not friendly. We won't even talk about fucking Jell-O. That's Kraft as well. If you're eating Jell-O, shame on you if you have a pet. They grind up your pet's tendons and shit like that to make gelatin. How dare you? When you're buying vitamins, if you're not buying the healthy ones or you are buying the healthy ones, stay away from gelatin. Cool Whip, Kraft. Nestea, Pellegrino, Delissio Pizza, which is not very frickin' Delissio. That's Kraft. They also own most of your chocolate bar favorites. Kit Kat and Aero and Coffee Crisp and Smarties and Butterfingers and Crunch and O. Henry and that Morning Fix. I think it's Nescafe and Taster's Choice. You're giving Kraft all your money, people. We'll find out more about Kraft. We'll let you know what else they're doing. They've also got you in the dessert shed. Drumsticks, Nestle, Dryers. They've got your candies with your sweet tarts and your nerds and your gobstoppers. They've got your kids. Power Bar, Carnation Powdered Milk, Nesquik, and Gerber with the funny little 200-year-old baby on the picture. Kraft, people. What about your pets? They're already grinding them up so that they can make their gelatin for your Jell-O. We all know what happens if you eat Jell-O. You become like Bill Cosby and you start raping women. Dude had a lot of money. Why didn't he just go buy a prosty? I don't know. Idiot. Anyway, they've got your animals too. You buy an Alpo and Fancy Feast and Friskies and Purina and Beneful and Dog Chow and all that. You're giving Kraft some more money, people. You're wearing diesel clothes or things like that. Kraft. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I believe that one is Nestle. I'm going to have to back up on that one because I believe that one is Nestle. I ventured into the Nestle area a little bit. I made myself a nice little chart here. Now we're into Nestle. I apologize for that. L'Oreal. You got to look nice. Oil of Olay, Boss, Lacoste. That's all Nestle. People didn't even know that. So that's two companies. What about Coke? Good old Coca-Cola company. They not only make Coca-Cola, by the way, as an aside, whip out your little device and search uses for Coca-Cola online. You can drink it, and you can clean your windshield with it. You can clean your toilet with it. It's got a lot of uses, most of them disgusting, of course. But it's not just Coca-Cola. It's Dasani water. They bought a lot of the waters. I believe when they bought up Odwalla, used to be a rather ethical company, and Coca-Cola bought them up. And that's the problem with these big multinationals. Not only do they buy up everybody and they consume other companies and corporations, sometimes they cause layoffs. Other times they want to put someone out of business. They can get cheaper supply chain with their exerting of influence, etc., etc. But now there are people out there like myself that have switched off from this globally produced crap, and we want either organic products or non-GMO products or vegan products or non-GMO organic vegan products. And there are a lot of them out there. For instance, I didn't ask Joe out there what he ate for breakfast today or what he had all last week. But I'm sure most people out there had pizza, had some pasta with their tomato sauce and roasted veggies, and they had some soup, and they had coffee, and they had cookies and double chocolate cake, and they had ice cream, and they had cheese, and they had crackers, and they had snacks, and they had burgers, and guess what, people? Organic, non-GMO vegans have all of that too. We just don't consume the crappy varieties. They're not harmful or as harmful as the crap you're putting inside of you. You should really know what you're putting inside of you. And I'll tell you what, if you don't, let's go on a little bit of an extreme, because that usually gets people talking and it usually gets the point across. when I'm mentioning all these products, we're going to get to Pepsi in a second here. We mention these products, and I tell you, you don't care what you're putting in your mouth. Most people. Well, the apathetic idiots, anyway. No, I don't care. I don't care what I put. Good. Then here's what you do next time. Go into a restaurant blindfolded. Sit down and tell the waiter or waitress, didn't want to offend anybody out there, but again, if you're offended, too frickin' bad. Tell the waiter out there, I'm blindfolded. Bring me some food. Put it in my mouth with your fingers. I don't care what it is, and I don't care if you've washed, because that's pretty much what you're doing when you ingest all of this food from the supermarket and you don't pay attention to what the hell's in it. And if you can get past what's in the food, maybe you just got a little bit of that oomph in you that you want to know if this company is a son of a bitch or not. Maybe you don't want to buy the products of a son of a bitch. Maybe this company is raping the world. Maybe you don't like what they're doing. Maybe you've got one of their shit products and you don't like them, so don't reward them with just switching to another one of their products. You're still giving them the same amount of revenue. So try that. You don't like what you say you don't like what you're putting in your mouth and you don't care what you're putting in your mouth, excuse me? Go in blindfolded. Say, put some stuff in my mouth. Let me eat. I'm good with that. Now, Pepsi. Pepsi owns a lot of shit too. They actually changed their tag logo for a while to Pepsi, Tropicana, Gatorade, or some permutation of the like. And they basically own all of Quaker stuff. I think it was Pepsi, Quaker, Gatorade, or something like that. They own all the Quaker products. They own Yum Brands. I believe they've got the Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, A&W, probably the East Side Mario's. And they make your Rotten Captain Crunch. And let's see, I believe they are, let's see what their snacks are. Lay's chips. And then don't forget, oh, Sun Chips. Sun Chips are good. No, they're Pepsi. Miss Vicky's, Cheetos, Fritos, all Pepsi, Pepsi, Pepsi. And then they've got your Gatorade, and your Tropicana, and your Mug Root Beer, and your 7-Up, and your Dole, and your Brisk. I don't drink Aquafina, too. I don't drink any of their crap. I won't give them $1. General Mills is another one of the Big 10. General Mills makes your Cheerios and your Lucky Charms and your Chex and your Golden Grams and your Fiber One, and they own your Pillsbury and your Yo Plate and your Haagen-Dazs and Betty Crocker and Green Giant and Hamburger Helper. I mean, they got that Green Giant wearing the hamburger glove, spooning up the Betty Crocker spoon. They got the old El Paso. They own a lot of shit. They and Coke are helping do a lot of bad in this world. You know what? Again, with these glasses, I actually shifted over, and I'm now in my Kellogg's. I'm all disjointed today, but I didn't eat any of this shit, so I'm a little bit ahead of you guys. Kellogg's is a very big food place. They branched out into, I believe it's Morningstar, Kashi, and they try to promote Kashi as organic, and they're trying to suck you in with, we have organic products, this is good stuff. It's still Kellogg's with their Frosted Flakes and their mini wheats and their Vectors and Corn Flakes. And let's see, got Mars. Mars is another big company. They actually own Wrigley, and they own a lot of the big gums like Extra and Big Red. And they own some dog and cat products too. I believe they are Whisca, Royal Canin. They've also branched out into other things beside food, but they're your M&Ms and Snickers and Milky Way company. And they also bought up Uncle Ben. So another big company there. And then you've got Unilever. Unilever just doesn't want to poison you with what you eat. They're also into household goods, and they don't want to tell you that they're helpfully killing 50,000 to 100,000 animals a year for testing. And if you don't want to know about what goes on with testing, too bad. You can't, again, turn in your eyes, turn in your head. Doesn't make it go away. They pin animals down, rabbits especially, by the neck, and they put drops in their eyes of a strong strength of chemical. And here's the rationale. Well, we want to make sure the humans don't get injured. So we're going to keep dropping drops of chemical into these animals' eyes until the animal can't take it anymore, continues to jerk away so violently from pain and horror and fear that it breaks its own neck. And they just toss that sucker aside and they lock another one in. And they soak dogs in chemicals that eat away at their skin. And it's caustic and it's poisoning them. And they live in fear. Kind of like some of those animals you see that are at the shelter, and they just cringe away because they've turned away from humanity because of the abuse. And the reasoning is they need to know how strong some of your chemicals are so that you can look pretty or smell nice. Okay, we're supposed to be the higher evolved species. So why they can't just, as we've all heard the jokes before, put a warning on the label that says, listen, this shit will burn your eyes if you get it in your eyes. It won't kill you like the animals we test on, but it will hurt. So, you know, wash it out of your, first of all, be careful. Try not to get it in your eyes. If you get some in your eyes, it's going to make your eyes red. It's going to sting a little bit. Wash it out with clean water, which you should feel proud that you have clean water. The people that live in the areas that most of these multinationals farm from don't even have clean water in their own communities. So wash your eyes out with the clean water, and obviously be a little more careful when you're using it on your children's faces. They could do that, but they choose not to. I guess it's easier to murder the animals. Again, if you don't like what's going on, you should do something about it. So what is Unilever into? They are into your food. They're into Knorr or Knorr or whatever that, how you pronounce that one. They got your base cell margarine in the cold area and your Hellmann's. And for all you people that got conned into the Slim Fast circuit, they own your Slim Fast. Same people that are giving you the Slim Fast are also giving you Breyer's ice cream and popsicles and Magnum and Ben and Jerry's. And they've got your teas too. They've got Red Rose and Salada. But they're the same ones that tell you eat our crap. But if you eat too much and get heavy and want to get on Slim Fast, we got a problem for that too. All solved. Take the Slim Fast. By the way, now that you've slimmed down pretty fast and you want to go out, make sure you put some of our Dove and Axe spray and Noxzema on. And don't forget Lever 2000. That's where the lever in Unilever came from. They used to be the Lever Brothers. And then there was obviously corporate buyouts and a bunch of shit like that. And we all know what happens there. Unilever also owns Pepsodent. And when you're still cleaning yourself up, you've used their soap and your VO5 and your Sunsilk and your Alberto, and you've got the Noxzema on, and you're going to spray your Axe spray on because the commercial tells you spray Axe spray on, women want to sleep with you. Yeah, fat chance, dude. They've also got your Vaseline and your Q-tips and your Vim and your Sunlight. And they don't want to just get into the food aisles. They're everywhere. Another one of the big bad companies. So then we've got Johnson & Johnson. I guess we'll leave Procter & Gamble, those sons of bitches, till the end. You know what? No, let's just do them now. Procter & Gamble is a very big scumbag company. They kill the most animals of anybody. They don't care what they do. And they tell me if you consume any of this Procter & Gamble shit. If you do, that's your choice. Your kids don't have a choice. And if you're not responsible enough to care for your kids properly, you should listen to some advice. Those kids don't have a choice, a free choice, and an informed choice. So don't let them anywhere near these products. Wait till they grow up. Then you can let them know what they've got. Say, if you want to go consume, go right ahead. Don't give them the IMs, though. That's for your dog. That's Procter & Gamble. And then they've got your potato chip in Pringles. Now, they kill a lot of animals to make sure that the Dawn and Tide and Bounce and Gain and Cheer and Cascade and Downy and Ivory and Joy and Zest and all that shit helps clean your clothes. Because remember, you got all sweaty from slimming down fast over with the Unilever people. So, Procter & Gamble is Mr. Clean. They're Swiffer. They're Febreze. They're Puffs and Bounty. They're a lot more. They're Gillette. They're Old Spice. They're Pampers. So they got your babies. They've got your faces. Here's a secret. They're also secret. So they got your underarms. Ladies, they're always in Tampax. They've got your goodies down there too. And don't forget Charmin and Cashmere. When you shit out all these companies' bad stuff, turn to Procter & Gamble. They're Head & Shoulders. They're Pantene. And hey, it's so nice and easy. That's what they are. They're Crest and Scope. They're Fixodent. Oral-B. Wonder whatever happened to Oral-A. How bad was that testing that they couldn't come out with Oral-A? They had to come out with Oral fucking B. And Vicks cough drops, they're them. They're also Braun, Pure, Duracell. That's Procter & Gamble. They're assholes. I hate them. They're in the group of things and people I hate. By the way, good defense to hate speech. Just hate everybody equally. If you can't get along with everybody, hate everyone equally. Don't show any favoritism of hatred towards anybody. You can't get in trouble for it. That's a hate crime. No, it's not. It's not a crime to hate anybody. I hate them all equally. I'm showing no favoritism. Johnson & Johnson. Splenda. It's one of your artificial sweeteners. Sorry, Joe. I think I just yelled that one kind of loud. Splenda is one of those artificial sweeteners like aspartame. It's poison. It's toxic. It's killing you. It's Johnson & Johnson. Enjoy. Women area here, Lubriderm, Neutrogena, Visine. That's Johnson & Johnson. What else do they do? I believe they are in the other aisles of your grocery store and pharmacy with your Tylenol, Motrin, Pepcid, Reactin, Sudafed, Benadryls. That's Johnson & Johnson. They've got you in the Listerine area, Band-Aids. I know you probably realize they make Johnson's baby shampoo and things like that. And they make, in case the ladies wanted to keep the girl parts clean, didn't want to use Procter & Gamble, and they went to Carefree or Stay Free, Johnson & Johnson, just as bad. So the food companies, they control almost everything that you eat. You buy it all. You don't know who you're buying it from. You don't know where it's sourced. It's just bad. I've got. I wrote down a couple of notes here. There's one of the bigger companies of the really large multinationals. It's a conglomerate called Associated British Foods PLC. PLC is like our Inc. over here. Germany's GmbH, etc., etc. These guys make $21 billion a year. They profit about $1 billion a year. And they operate a lot of sugar factories. And they sell ingredients to wholesalers. They've got the Mazola corn oil. They bought up Twinings Tea or Twinnings Tea, however you pronounce that one, who've been around for about 300 years. But now they fall under their umbrella. The Coca-Cola Company has revenues about $50 billion a year at... well, that was a couple of years ago, so I don't know what it's at now. I'll try to look that up in the future. And their profit is $8 to $10 billion a year. They're making as much profit as, you know, the big Canadian banks. Bit sucky too. Coca-Cola Company, it scored very low in a lot of areas. I think it was Oxfam put out a report on the multinationals and how they treat the indigenous workers and the plantation owners and the small-scale farmers. And they are one of the not nice people. So we move on to another group. This one you know about too. It's called Group Danone SA. $30 billion, couple of billion in profit. And these suckers, they sell in US, China, Russia, France, Indonesia. And what they do too, they're not good with the natives. They don't score very highly on some of the critical areas, including like the handling of the land and the farming issues. So they're bad people too, but you're consuming their products. And General Mills, $18, $20 billion a year company. Profit's got to be approaching $2 billion. They're the ones that have the Pillsbury. They have the lowest scores in this Oxfam study for awareness and policies regarding how their gas emissions are affecting the ecology in the areas where they are, their clean water raping. Kellogg is another big one. Kellogg's is it's the smallest of, I think, the Big Ten I read you. Maybe 15, 20 billion a year of sales. 2 billion of it is profit. Think about that the next time you're helping out one of the biggest cereal and cookie makers in the world. You know what? I just want to skip off of Kellogg's now. Some of the stuff you're eating, it's bad. It's got ingredients that are sourced from dubious areas. The multinationals are so large now that they can't even control their own supply chain. Some of the companies like Kraft, they split their big organization up for, you know, strategic reasons. Kraft split off into some company called Mondelez. They're into a lot of the foodstuffs. So a lot of these companies don't care what you're eating. They don't care that you don't care. You need to be a little more proactive in what you're eating. At least find out what's in your food. Find out what some of the bad items are. Do a little bit of research. Start reading those labels. And labels are confusing. They're onerous. Got a lot of long chemical words. That's your first clue, people. When you can't pronounce many of the ingredients, it's because it's shit. So the next time you want to eat that and think you don't care, take your dog out for the washroom, and when it takes a shit, instead of picking it up with the bag, pick it up, put it on a plate, bring it inside and eat it, because you're eating shit. The stuff that your dog excretes probably has more nutritional value than some of that box shit you're buying from these big companies. And if you're grossed out right now, guess what? I don't care. You should be the one that cares. If you don't want to be grossed out, change your eating habits. There are organic aisles in our grocery stores. Explore them. Explore the ingredient lists. When you're buying a grain product or something derived from grain, and the first ingredient on the list is enriched wheat flour, that means it is shit. Enriched means shit. They took away all the good parts of the wheat, stripped it all away. I guess it's cheaper to do it like that. But then they enrich it with vitamins and nutrition and nutrients and all this other crap, and it's not good for you. Stay away from the white flour, because the white flour has been bleached It's about as bad as the enriched flour, but they take the whole wheat and they throw it through their chemical processes and they put a bunch of crap in it to make it look nice and white. And I think actually we should get at maybe get at the sugar right now, because the white flour is about the same as the white sugar. Sugar doesn't grow nice white little granules that look pretty on your spoon. I don't know why it looks pretty, but that's what they tell us. So they take the raw sugar, and it's cane sugar or from sugar beets, and it's sugar. But they run it through chemical processes and ammonias, and they bleach it to make it look nice. So you're eating bleached, chemicaled shit. Go to natural raw sugar. If you can't have sugar, go to a natural sweetener like xylitol or stevia or something. The white sugar that they're putting out for you is killing you. Again, you don't care, and that's your problem. But if you don't care, you got to look out for your kids. So these companies are killing you. You don't seem to care. They get cheap labor and land. They don't support the communities that these people live in. And, you know, to be honest with you, I didn't need an Oxfam report to tell me that these 10 biggest countries don't care about the areas they're in. They exert substantial influence over the governments of those jurisdictions. Yes, payoffs, bribes, just money to let us in there to take over your rich soil. And it's going to continue to go on. 38,000 products in your grocery store, that's an average. Most people agree on that. Having 38,000 products in your grocery store doesn't make it a choice. It's not a choice if a company has 3 different labels out there and call it brand A, brand B, and whatever else. Like Barney Rubble picked up the wrong flour bag and said, I use brand B. It's the same company. 60% of all the food laborers that supply the big 10 companies live in poverty. So, you know, why aren't women protesting and boycotting most of these top 10 companies that have atrocious records with women workers? I don't know. They all seem to want to cry over the right to be topless. They cry over men saying women need to be pretty. They cry over some really shallow things. And when there are companies that are squashing the women workers, I mean, they're squashing all of these people down to get you your food. You think about this tonight when you're having that nice meal tonight. How the hell does Tony stay so trim and in good shape? Well, he's not eating that shit. But anyway, why are the women buying that product? Why are they buying from those companies if they're treating women this poorly and they say they're sticking up for women? So maybe they should be taking the lead. The U.S. there was a study done on what people think is in their food or care about what's in their food. The United States had the highest percentage of people that said they didn't care what's in their food. Canada wasn't far behind. And right now what they're doing is they're trying to buy up small organic companies. These big pieces of shit want a piece of our pie because the food dollars are going elsewhere, and they not only want to buy them up, when they buy them up, the standards go down. They don't scrutinize the sources, whether they're non-GMO products, whether they're strictly organic farmers. They don't give a rat's ass. So we all lose when they buy up other companies, smaller companies. You now see advertising on TV for Annie's and Eve's. They were all bought up by bigger multinationals. And I don't give them my business either, even if the product is organic. And now they're coming out with non-GMO and, you know, your Orville Redenbacher and all that crap. They're trying to promote themselves as organic, and they try to do, okay, if I tell you I'm not going to steal your money out of your pocket, but I smack you in the face or I kick you in the shin, I'm still harming you. I just didn't take your money. So if I offer you an organic product here, but I'm killing you and your children and your animals with these products here, why do you still want to buy from me? I don't know. I had a couple other things to say, but I think I want to end this one here today, because the food situation, it's going to take a lot more. You people need to know a little bit more about organic, what vegan actually means, what the meat industry and the dairy industry is doing. Joe already knows that there's organic dairy products that taste good, cheese, milk, yogurt. It's all out there, my friends. But again, I think we're going to leave that for now, other than we've addressed the children issue. You don't want to feed your kids crap, but did you know Coca-Cola uses child labor in Asia? And Kraft takes companies in Brazil that clear-cut the land just to make a couple of the ingredients for Kraft. And it's not good. At any given time, this world makes more than enough food to feed the whole world. More than 1/3 is actually thrown away. And that's disgusting when you consider that 900 million people go to bed hungry every night. And we also have, out of our 7 billion plus people, which 6,999,999,000 and probably 800 of them suck. Out of the 7 billion of us, estimate more than 1.4 billion are overweight to obese. Those numbers are about 3 years old. I will look into that and try to find out some more relevant numbers. But as far as relevancy goes, it can only go up from there. It's not going down. People are consuming more of this crap all the time. And you know what? I'm not done, because you need to start knowing what's in the food. Olestra, fake fats, aspartame. You fools are just consuming it, you know? And I'm watching a commercial on TV, and the guy yells out, "Hey, fat guy, put down the pie and come over here." And he's going to teach you how to lose weight. And it's one of the same companies that's feeding you the crap over here anyway, but I'm not a fat guy. I've never been a fat guy. I weigh almost the exact same I weighed in high school, with the exception of I probably dropped 2.5 to 3 pounds from the undigested red meat sitting clogged up in my intestines that finally worked its way through before I became a vegan, and I've been that for a very, very long time. I haven't been sick in years and years. I eat every type of food, dessert, sweet, etc. that you eat, with the exception that it's vegan. There was compassion in my food. My newest shoes are vegan shoes that have cows and chickens and sheep holding hands on them because they're happy I didn't kill them. And that's how I live my life. You don't have to be as extreme, but you might want to start with what you're putting in your mouth. Next time you go to the restaurant, consider that. Have the waiter hand feed you. But enough about this for now. I think I just want to end this one today. I will come back to this at some point. And this is Too Tough to Die, and I'm Tony. See you later.